Okay, I'd like to call this November 6th Park Board meeting to order. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Marquardt?
Here.
Ms. Brannon? Here. Mr. Justice?
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Here.
Mrs. Rivera? Absent. Mr. Eldridge? Absent. Mr. Austin? Mrs. Ray?
Here.
And Mr. Wiseman?
Here.
And I am here.
Okay, consent agenda. Item number 1 is minutes of the October 2nd meeting and work session minutes. Number 2, claims. Parks and Rec General Fund, $10,745.92. Park Impact Fee Fund, $0. Parks and Rec Non-Reverting Fund, $1,881.31. Clubhouse Non-Reverting Fund, $3,689.10. Total expenditures of $16,316.33. Number 3, donations. Bear with me here, there's a lot of generous people. Cedar Lake Stormwater Board members, Justice and Glenn, the Sandbar Grill, Kevin Toth, Hanover Township Trustee, Jennifer Sandberg, and Faith Church, Cedar Lake, all donated candy for Trunk or Treat. Family Express Corporation donated 12 cases of water for Trunk or Treat. Gail Brannon donated bagged snacks and coffee candy for the senior gathering. And Jimmy John's of Cedar Lake donated free sandwich cards for the soccer coaches and donated sandwiches for the Parks team. Debbie Szymborski donated a Christmas apron with a pot holder for a bingo prize. Kathleen Broomhead donated food and snacks and 7 gift cards for the October 27th senior bingo. Aaron Shirkey, State Farm Agency, donated $2,324.98 for 2 spruce trees on town grounds.
Nice.
Thank you for all the donations over the past month. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? If not, I'll take a motion.
A motion we accept the consent agenda. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Justice, second by Mr. Marquardt. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Marquardt?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 1 under old business is Founders Creek Trail. I think we might have just a little bit of update from the last meeting.
In a previous town council meeting, they deferred it to January 2026 to discuss further, to be able to give direction, to allow the ERC the opportunity to meet with NERC, and then to give direction in their January meeting for a request for proposals, which is the next step of the Founders Creek process.
And then once we recommend request, or once town council recommends request for proposals, that's when we can really get the project started, and that's what'll kick off the funding timeline.
That's the timeline.
Okay.
The project.
Do you know when that meeting is in January with NERC?
No, the meeting will happen prior, and I think that once that meeting happens, then there has to be a 1-month wait period before we can go into the request. The council will then give the directives to the ERC at that time to go in for the request for proposals.
Okay.
And the ERC is our clerk treasurer.
And actually, our town manager, Ben Eldridge, has become the ERC now for the town. So he has went through the proper training and received that endorsement.
Okay. So would it be acceptable to defer this to our January meeting?
For an update, absolutely.
I don't think anything will happen between now and then. If that's the board's pleasure, I would take a motion.
A motion we defer this.
I was gonna do it, but
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Mr. Justice, second by Mr. Markwart. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brandon, sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
And Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0.
I was watching it. See if you're... I didn't know, I was going to.
Okay, item number 2 under old business is the recreation impact fee study. Just to provide some updates, we kind of discussed both proposals last meeting from Arch Group and V3. At that meeting, we motioned to defer this item to November, and Mr. Justice recommended that a committee from the board have interviews with each of the engineering groups on the impact fee study. Mr. Justice and myself interviewed both groups between that meeting and this meeting. And I guess, Mr. Justice, if you would just want to share some of your take, or I can start and just to kind of give a recap of the interviews.
So basically, the proposal from the Arch Group involved taking the work from their last 5-year plan and updating it. So realistically, we wind up with a very similar product. There probably would be some changes and some numbers. I don't know that the ordinance would probably change that much. It was a much more simplistic, shot at putting together this report. V3, on the other hand, because they didn't do the last one, would be starting this report from scratch. They provided to us a copy of the Valparaiso report they just completed and walked us through the entire report and the steps that they go through to produce that report in each one of those steps. My interpretation from that meeting was that the V3 product was a much more complete product. I think it would be a much more accurate product. I think they look at this report kind of from two different perspectives. I think, one company is much more detailed and the other company is, not that it's a negative, but I think they look at a much simpler version, and that might be the product that some people want. In our case, because of all the steps that they would be taking, it seemed like it would be a much better product. It would be much more useful for us in that ordinance procedure to update things. So, my personal choice was that the V3 firm seemed to have just a better product.
Yeah, and I had similar thoughts. One thing that struck me when we had both interviews was that V3 mentioned that our current ordinance is very light, literally and figuratively, and that their ordinances are much more detailed and will allow the board to make better decisions and read the ordinance much more clearly on how we can use the funds and what those funds should be applied towards. That was my main takeaway, and Arch Group was very detailed also in their explanation of how they derive park impact fees. I thought V3 broke it down even more detailed to taking a total inventory of park spaces, equipment, everything to kind of see what we currently have, what our needs would be in the future, and how we can use those funds and make that ordinance very, very clear for us going forward. One thing to mention is that at this point, I think with either company that we choose, there might be a small lag in not being able to collect park impact fees next year. So the current fee study ordinance ends at the end of this year. We can collect park impact fees through June of next year. Once we adopt a new ordinance, there is a 6-month waiting period to be able to collect those fees going forward. So either way, there's going to be a short lag. The lag with V3 might be a little bit longer, but that's because they're going to be doing a much more comprehensive project. But I think, in my personal opinion, and the board can decide however they feel, there's a building moratorium already, so that this might be the time to do a new impact fee study if we're going to do one and start from scratch. And get that ordinance the way we want it to be read, you know, for this board and for future boards, and to have a, you know, comprehensive product. So if the board, any other board members have any questions or want to add anything else? Otherwise, I would just solicit a motion to accept one of the proposals.
Well, I will make a motion to accept the V3 proposal.
Motion by Ms. Brannon,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Markwart. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 1 under new business is ordinance 1512 recreation fees. That's exhibit B in our iPads. Mindy, do you want to kind of give us an update? I think this is just for, I guess I can give the update. It's just a one-liner, right? This just impacts sports and recreation coaches, which specifically right now is just soccer coaches. Head coaches and assistant coaches will receive a full refund of one player registration fee upon completion of the season. And based on discussions with Mindy and information from Greg, it seems like this is just a good gesture to those coaches and incentive for coaches to volunteer. You know, it's tough to get parents to volunteer and volunteers.
Absolutely, and it's parents who have children who think they are all all-stars. Parents sometimes are also the problem. So getting volunteers is just hard because depending on an age division, like I tell a lot of my parents come into 4 and 5, like, I've never coached soccer before. And I was like, yeah, neither did I until about 6 years ago. But I mean, like, at that age group, you're just kind of herding cats, right? So, and even they are getting parents telling them, well, my kid doesn't want to play goalie, where it's like, I didn't even tell your kid to play goalie, but that's just where he wants to go, right? Because he doesn't want to run around. So even at that age group, they're getting kind of harassed by some parents already. So it's just like a nice gesture of like, hey, you know, thank you for, you know, sparing your time. Because even it's not just the practice of the games, it's also, you know, getting the messages out, right? Getting messages out during game days. It's like getting the shirts together for the parents, you know, picture forms and all that stuff. So there's just more than just 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week.
Sure.
So this is just a nice little gesture for them.
Okay, so that's all with this ordinance update. So is there a motion to accept this ordinance?
I motion that we accept the updated ordinance.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Justice, second by Ms. Brannon. Any further discussion?
Is this a recommendation to council since it's an ordinance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's clarify that.
Okay.
So the motion and the second would be a recommendation to town council to accept the ordinance 1512.
The change, okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Item number 2 under new business is committee appointments. So if you have attended some of our previous meetings, you'll know that we recommended town council to incept a tree board to be a Tree City USA affiliate. And this would also include Recreation Impact Fee Advisory Board. I'm not sure that we're ready to make those recommendations at this meeting just because we've just accepted the proposal, but those will be forthcoming. And I think the Recreation Impact Fee Advisory Board, I think we can make those recommendations to town council for them to ultimately accept anyways. I don't know if we necessarily need to take a, you know, action. So if we need to do that between now and the next meeting for sake of time, I think town council can deliberate on those names.
The recommendation here, just for clarity purposes, is one board member chooses
Oh.
those boards.
Okay,
So choosing amongst the board for one of
Got it.
the park board members to sit on the Tree City board, although you are correct in making further recommendations for the
Those are just,
Happy
those are
stuff.
just suggestions.
Yeah, those are
Mhm.
just the recommendations to the council,
Mhm.
but if you would like, if you didn't have a chance to talk about it, it's fine, we can defer. It's finding one board member to seat the tree board and one board member to seat on, the
Oh.
Recreation Impact Advisory Board.
Okay,
So just one of you wanting to sit on those boards
got it.
as they're composing those boards right now.
Okay,
And if that is a, a December thing, that's absolutely acceptable. I know that they're still accepting applications from the public for the 3 citizen, seats on the tree board. So they don't have that yet, and I think they might have asked for those to, anybody who was interested to reach out to the town manager's office until January. So you do have a little time if you need to have a little thought and discussion amongst yourselves
Okay.
about who would like to sit on those boards.
got it. Sorry, that was my misunderstanding on that item. So we're recommending a board member
To represent.
to represent each of those boards. Okay. Is the board prepared to make a recommendation, or does someone want to volunteer for either one of these right now, or would you rather discuss and then we can vote on that recommendation in the December meeting?
That sounds good.
You want to do that?
December.
Yeah, just
I don't know
hold
if
off.
we're
I agree.
prepared to do that yet.
So you want a motion to defer till?
Yeah, we'll defer this then to the, December meeting.
So I motion we defer this
No,
to
this
the
is gonna
December
do it.
meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Justice, second by Mr. Markwart. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brannan?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. I would like to then make a motion to amend the agenda, to discuss the recommendation of, a town employee to be on the tree board to town council. So, I'll make that motion. Does anyone want a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by, Mr. Rodriguez and second by Mr. Justice. Any further discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brannan?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, okay. So, now that we've amended the agenda, there's been discussions amongst the board that we recommend, Cliff Rowe, to be a member of the tree board, and make that recommendation to town council to choose him to be on the tree board. We really appreciate him bringing that project to us and the great presentation that he did for us. And I think he's very invested in this, and we'd like him to be a part of this. And I think, assuming that he wants to take on that role, which I think he will, Cliff, you can raise your hand and say yes, but we'd like to make that recommendation. So, is there a motion?
I motion that we recommend Cliff Rowe be part of the tree committee.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Justice, second by Ms. Brannan. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Absolutely.
Ms. Brannan?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, then we have some discussion items. Item number 1 is yoga and senior fitness agreements for 2026. Those are Exhibits C and C2.
These are just the agreements that we have updated for the 2026 calendar year with the continuation of the senior fitness instructor who's hosting classes twice weekly at the clubhouse, and then to bring the yoga series back in the summer and a little bit into the fall next year. These are just instructor agreements that needed to come before you in a meeting, as I'm allowed to execute those as your department head. But I wanted to share that with you and get it on record that we are moving forward with those fitness agreements, with those, the yoga and the senior fitness programs for 2026.
Is there any major changes from last year with these agreements?
The only difference, for the yoga is that there will be a small fee accepted for yoga, as we did offer it for free last year, and, we did see that we would fill all the spots with people being, registering for the program, but then there was no accountability and a lot of people weren't showing to the program. So for a nominal fee, I believe that the instructor will have a full class when people sign up. And this is, the approach that we're going to try for this summer and fall period.
Did we charge at one point before, the season before?
Not for a yoga class. Last
Okay.
year was our first yoga that we
Okay.
offered for free.
Okay.
Unless he's talking about our exercise class.
Our exercise class, I think it's been 2 years free now since we switched instructors.
I think it might have just been last year.
Yeah, last year,
year?
yeah.
Okay.
I was
yeah.
just curious, because I thought we had a better, turnout rate for that class. when we
Yeah,
were-
we did at free. We
Yeah.
noticed that,
Yeah, that's doing, yeah.
The exercise class is
for the seniors.
Yeah, the exercise class is
gonna
doing,
stay
yeah.
free, and it
Yeah.
does get
Correct.
good turnout,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, year
That
20,
was a good move
yeah.
to make that
Yep.
a free class with for our seniors, and they're dedicated at even coming at free. But for
Mhm.
yoga, for some reason, it was easy enough not to show up if you signed up
yeah.
at free. So, those were the changes.
Okay. Item number 2, under discussions, is the clubhouse well and storage shed, and those, few exhibits. This item was brought up by board member, Gail Brannon, and she mentioned that, that clubhouse shed, is a little bit in disrepair. So I think Mindy did some investigation, in coordination with, our maintenance foreman, and, basically it's a well house, and there's wells in there, so if we really want to do any major renovations to that site, the wells would have to be removed, because are they decommissioned, or have they?
The pumps need to be removed and the wells decommissioned.
Okay, and so I think that turned into a little bit bigger of a project than we had anticipated. The question came up of, possibly, have we looked into just making a patch to the roof, or is that not a viable, just?
Sure, I mean, in a perfect world, that would be the solution to a structure like that, but for the reasons of that roof was, constructed to be removed by a crane to allow, to get into, look at the pumps. The well has to be decommissioned. That's just something that just never seemed to have gotten to that point. And when, if you look at those quotes that were provided to you, one of your vendors is stating they'd like to have the structure removed in order to get in and to get that pump system out and decommission the well. The other one does not state that they would like to see the structure removed, but that we do perceive that there could be further damages when we're using a crane and a boom to try to get the well decommissioned and the pumps that are existing in there removed. So, but you were provided a rough estimate of the repair of that to bring it back up to, a shed type opportunity once this is all said and done. And that also sits in here as the 2 exhibits for your consideration. It ended up being not just let's fix a roof, it's like, oh wow, this is a very big project that,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need to make a consideration for a project on. And then when we were discussing this project a little bit, and some additional funds that would be left over out of our capital, an option would be possibly to use some of those funds from capital to bring it into a 2026 project, to not utilize all of the clubhouse non-reverting funds to try to make this happen. It's a pretty big project, sitting at the $15,000 to $20,000 range. And then we've also identified a tree project in one of our park spaces at Cedar Crest Park, where we went to do some fall removal and just came across trees that are so compromised and diseased, that they're posing threats. We've known that we've been losing branches and branches and branches as the years go by over there, but, they need some major love and attention, and, you know, it just, that project just, it recently uncovered itself as the guys were trimming back and, taking care of that park space for the fall. So we have a big project coming up with Cedar Crest, so maybe those capitals could be used for that. And those are kind of two bigger projects that you may want to utilize the remainder of the funds. Now that we have quotes for those, whichever direction you want to go for that remaining capital in the budget, is very easy just to, I have those quotes already for both projects. If you identify either or, we can move either or into the 2026 project year with this year's money, or some of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think as far as the well house goes, I think maybe we need to have further discussions with water department on maybe a plan for that and see what their plans were for it, before we invest that much just to remove wells and tear down a building or rehab a building. So for the Cedar Crest tree cleanup project, I remember you sent us two different quotes. One was for $2,500, which was a lower scope project. One was for $9,500 for a more comprehensive project.
Yes, the lower scope project was just taking care of the remaining stumps in that park space and leaving some trees that are diseased and hoping for the best until we can identify more funds to go toward it. Option two was the $9,500 estimate to take care of the whole problem in itself and remove those stumps that are in that park space. So.
And we also have the quote for the paving for the town grounds project came in a little bit lower than what we had originally anticipated.
That's why you're seeing a little additional money left over in your capital once we encumber we've already transferred the funds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you're seeing a pretty heavy line item right now. But until the purchase orders are pulled to encumber them for 2026, you'll just see a heavy line item. But as I've done, some end of year spending and finalization of each budget line item, you're looking that you have about $13,000 to move into a project for next year or identify $13,000 of spending this year. And that was proposed to you in a budget worksheet. This is where we sat and where these funds kind of were in surplus. And if you would like to identify what you would like to do, I can put those things in motion. Be it a project, be it towards a purchase of this year.
Mm-hmm. And how many trees at Cedar Crest Park would need to be removed in that?
Oh, we're looking at 8 more trees and 18 stumps total.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And once those are cleared,
We should be pretty good over it.
we should be good and possibly be able to plant new
There's
trees.
kind of a storm water situation
Okay.
that's happening in that park space. So they're sitting in very damp areas. They're starting to lean toward property owners that border us. And without having an insurance claim in the future if the tree comes down. But the guys are like, these things are pretty rotten.
Mhm.
So.
Well, that seems like a better expenditure than
Yeah,
The well
I
house.
agree, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather get that cleaned up, especially if the paving project came in lighter than expected and we have those extra funds that we originally earmarked. Okay, so, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda, to discuss taking on, one of those tree clearing and stump grinding projects.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion by me, Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Justice. Any further discussion?
So we would be doing
We're just adding to the agenda.
Okay.
And then we'll
then we'll.
vote, yep. Just gotta go through the motions, I guess. Roll call, please.
Mr. Markort?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes,
Mr. Justice?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Okay, so I think we've kind of already discussed it. Is there a motion to accept one of those two bids, and maybe we, do we have to say not to exceed, or are those bids pretty firm?
Those are from, estimates
Okay.
provided to you, and the direction to encumber those for 2026 or get them done in this year.
Is it is it viable to do it this year, or?
I believe, yes, that the
Okay.
work can be done before the end of this budget year, and if you would like that project to take place, then
Mhm.
so be
Yeah,
it.
I think,
Yeah, I mean,
If
there's
not
no-
feasible, maybe you get, or by the contractor's schedule,
Mhm.
maybe you could just put a caveat in there that
Either do it
can
next
be-
year or
it can be
encumbered.
encumbered to move forward for a 2026 project in your motion. That way
Okay.
we're covered either way.
so I motion we encumber the $9,500 to remove the trees and the stumps. And if if we can't get it done this season, it's encumbered for next year. We'll try for this season, encumber for next year, in the event that we can't get it done.
I think that's perfect.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Mr. Justice, second by Mr. Markwart. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Markwart?
Yes.
Ms. Brannon?
Yes.
Mr. Justice?
Yes,
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Discussion number 3, park office hours and operation. Currently, park office hours are from 8 to 4:30 and closed during lunch from 12 to 1.
That is correct.
Okay. My only question on this, and I personally haven't received any, major complaints, and I know other departments have differing hours. Has there been many complaints of the hours to date? And,
Radio silence.
okay.
From the community, people are, I've not heard any complaints come through our office that our hours are terribly inconvenient for anybody.
And I know that even if someone shows up during lunch hour, that you guys do your best to accommodate
Yep,
whoever's there.
yeah, or answer the telephone at that time too.
So it's just my personal opinion that, not to rock the boat on this. I know it'll impact some of our employees' schedules, given that the Parks Department's not at Town Hall. There's less employees to cover during some of those lunch hours. So that would be my personal opinion. I don't want to make any changes unless there's an overwhelming response to change the hours.
I would agree. I don't think we need to change the hours. I think once the town council finds a location for you guys that works out and dovetails with what's here, then possibly that would be a time to consider it, but you're pretty much independent, so you're getting the job done, and I think, as long as you continue to, address people if they show up, obviously you can stretch a few more minutes out of your lunch if you need to make up for that. That's all we're looking for, is to make sure people are taken care of, so if they're being taken care of, I don't see a reason to change it.
Yeah, I think something that's helped us out too, and so Cliff, with our phones now, it tells us who calls us, right? So let's say we do miss that call, and we call them back, Sharon can also, people are very grateful, like, well, thank you for calling me back.
Mhm.
So I think that's very helpful as well, because now we know who calls, so let's say they don't leave a voicemail, we can call them back, and people seem to be very grateful that we do
So
call
even
them
if they
back.
don't leave a voicemail, you can still give them a call back?
Yeah,
Just
because it shows
acknowledge
us the number, it shows us who called us, missed calls, so we can just hit dial on the thing,
Mhm.
and we call right back, and people seem to be very grateful for that as well.
So basically, even if they don't leave you a voicemail, you guys reach out.
I do,
Correct.
yes.
Same,
That's excellent.
yep.
Done.
I pride our team on very great customer service skills. They're excellent at it.
Thank you, guys. Okay, nothing to change here. Discussion item number 4, Lynn's Way shelter placement and size. In our last meeting, we discussed encumbering funds for a shelter at Lynn's Way. Dave Justice, kind of headed that recommendation, as it'll impact a larger community park. So we have a couple options in front of us. In our meeting packet, you can see option 1 is closer to the street. Option 2 is behind the playground structure, but also nearer to the backyards of some of the houses in that park. I guess my initial reaction is I like option one, that's closer to the street and right on the sidewalk better. Less, you know, less encroachment on the neighbors, and it looks like that would be through my directions, that would be the north side of the park is kind of wooded area, retention area,
Correct.
so.
Yeah, I liked
I think,
option one too.
I think, option 2 is north, right?
Is that north?
Yeah,
Or is
because
that
I
west?
think the,
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay, I
yeah,
had my
that street
directions
runs
wrong.
Option
east
2
and
is
west.
north.
Yeah, so option 1. I think option 1 is also better because it's close to the sidewalk
Exactly.
and, you know. better
Easy access.
Yeah, better access.
Boom.
And then size, I think we kind of originally, I mean, I guess my thought was we were gonna do the same size as at Bartlett, Wahlberg, but maybe not the same,
Design.
same design,
The design that was
correct?
quoted to you was the Kiwanis Timber
Kiwanis
Trust.
design, yeah.
And I provided quotes for 3 different sizes to you, one being the same exact size that is at Kiwanis Park. I provided those 3 because in the previous meeting you had kind of thrown around, do we build bigger over there or not? So I have those 3 quotes, but once I provided those quotes with installation to you, we were sitting at that amount that was allocated for the shelter to encumber. So if you're considering more, a larger shelter, it's gonna cost more to buy the kit, more to build, which you provided those estimates as well for consideration. Just know that the monies from 2026 capitals will have to match that project in 2026,
Mhm.
the additional cost to those. But you were coming in very nicely for the exact same shelter that you built at Kiwanis, style and size, for Lindsay. Just
20 by 36,
So 20 by 36.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, anyone from the board have any thoughts on that?
It may look small, that's a big perk.
Yeah. I don't think, you know,
You know.
we also gotta just judge it by traffic too, you know, I don't know. That's
Right.
just more of a community park for that
Right,
neighborhood.
and every time I'm over there, there's no one there,
So hopefully this'll, you
so,
know,
yeah.
this'll attract some, and will this be a
Picnickers.
will this be a rentable,
That is still
Shelter.
for you to decide if that's an amenity that you would want.
Mhm.
I do not want to be terribly, you know, there's a lot of neighbors over there, so to host
Mhm.
parties there on the weekend,
Yeah.
it may be disruptive to the neighborhood. But definitely as an amenity, just as Bartlett is my recommendation to you on that. I mean, we're still having people lunch over at Bartlett at this time of year, and it's so beautiful to drive by and see them enjoying the park space and that shelter. So, the public.
So if it's an amenity, I think that the 20 by 36 is plenty.
That's fine.
Okay, so I have some,
So,
answers. in-
yeah, I would say our initial thought of the 20 by 36 and then option 1,
Perfect, thank you for that info.
and we've already approved that in the last meeting, so we're just kinda directing Mindy on placement and size.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so that was, everything under discussions. Is there anything else from the board before we get into reports? Okay. Number 1, superintendent report, exhibit F.
So, a lot of topics that were discussed today was the legwork that I was doing throughout the month for the board, and, you know, updated in my superintendent report. Some kind of highlight reels, I always like to call them, is the trunk or treat event that happened here with the parks team was a phenomenal event. We had added a few more things to it, and it ended up being so much support from the community went into this, and as you could tell by the donations, people were very apt to donate and to put their vendor cars out there and decorate. We offered hay rides this year, and all except for one child enjoyed it, maybe. The hay rides. The team did a phenomenal job. I'm teasing. The team did do a phenomenal job, in all aspects of planning, executing, and just working with the, community at the event, and we received so many compliments, and this is just another shout out to, as we grow, I love watching how things evolve and continue to get better, and that's all because of this great Parks team. So, shout out Parks team, crew.
My daughter liked it so much that's why she was screaming.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, she didn't want to get off.
So the trunk or treat was a successful event, and I'm very proud of the team about that, even to the point that I made them a chili lunch and brought it in. So, thanking them for just continuing to make things better here as we grow. We are still, we had to kind of move some things around as far as the tree planting due to like the Lynn's Way shelter being adopted in the last meeting, so I had to kind of go back to the drawing board about that. But at this time, all of the trees for the fall planting have been planted at Kiwanis Park, and next week you'll be seeing the remainder of the trees go into the park spaces. But Kiwanis Park will receive 7 trees total. Lynn's Way Park will receive 9 new trees into the tree system, or into the park system. Cedar Creek Park, Woods of Cedar Creek, will be receiving 5 trees. The town grounds, thanks to a generous donation from Aaron Shorkey State Farm, will be receiving 2 9-foot Norway spruces. And we also have received 2 trees donated from Nick Yukon, our Polk Street neighbor. Those were, they're this fall planting as well. And then we have a donation of a tree from the Dixon family at Meyer Manor Park. So that feels so great to be able to incorporate that many trees being planted in the park system this fall.
Nice.
Absolutely.
You'll be seeing more trees.
Thank you.
And other than that, we're preparing to get out of the office and learn a few things, and the Parks Department will be attending the Indiana Parks and Rec Conference in Muncie. So, and we'll be taking along our board member, Gail Brandon, as well with us.
All right. Road trip to Muncie.
Excellent.
All right, thank you. Number 2, Recreation Coordinators Report.
Thank you. I would like to start off first, so for our senior gathering, Kathy Broom had donated food and gift cards, so I was like, thank you again for doing that. The seniors were very surprised with the gift cards, so thank you. Hopefully you got invited to the DQ or Culver's, because I did not. Bingo, obviously just happened recently. We had 31 seniors came to it, so we are reaching 30s for our bingo and senior gathering, so that's really cool. Soccer season, the fall season ended, warmest fall season I've ever had. By the spring season was the coldest, so that was, someone needs to explain that to me. The farmer's market sadly didn't happen because of the bad weather, but we did do the dog contest on October 8th, that was really cool. One of the board members was there with their animal. I don't know if they won, but judging was very hard because that sunset, when they hit, boy, you could not see that. That was tough a little bit. But that was a good time. That was a really good time. So we did do the Agents of Discovery. We did launch one during the trunk or treat. We got 180 plays. We did it for where people would go on the hayride. So we had 180 plays for that. So that was a lot of fun, really cool. And like how Mindy said about the trunk or treat, we actually had so many donations. So thank you to everyone, like you saw that list. That was awesome. Everyone donated. We actually had 9 more vendors than we did last year.
Wow.
And a ton more candy, so that was really, really cool.
Do we have any idea of the count of children?
Children? No, there was ranges. I heard from like 400 to 500.
Wow.
But from what I heard from a lot of vendors who were there last year to this year, was there was more families. More families with a lot more kids this year. So that's great to hear. Like that's what you want to hear. They did, yeah. Yep. Because last year we had a lot of kids that were going back and forth, and a couple of our officers were like, well, I've already gave the candy like 3 times. So that did not happen. 2 o'clock it rained. It was perfect. We all got out. So that was nice. That was really nice. Santa is obviously coming to our clubhouse on December 7th. So 1 slot's completely filled up. We got 2 more slots left to go for that. On December 8th, we're having a senior musical that will be done by Lakeside Artists Guild. And then they're performing for a half hour, and then after that we're playing bingo. So we got some prizes for them, so that's going to be
great.
Yep. Blood drive is this coming, November 12th, so next Wednesday. So please, during the holiday season, please donate if you can. And the Parade of Lights is on November 22nd, so hopefully, Dave will come help us decorate, and we can win, hopefully. But, and then the The tree lighting is something that I will be going to the next meeting about to discuss, because it's still kind of up in the air right now for the tree lighting. And then, other than that, we got programs for next year.
Great.
That we're still working on. Thank you.
All right. Maintenance foreman report, anything you want to highlight there, or is it just normal operations?
I really can't say it's been normal operations. That park crew cooked hot dogs and drove tractors and set up for a trunk or treat event and tore it down. They were instrumental in helping out with that trunk or treat event. The tree work obviously is been some time taken up this month as they've been going through and cleaning up limbs and such. They were able to install the welcome signs in the 7 park spaces. Those were the signs that, so the town ground signs, the Monon Park, I could list all, I think, by memory. So those signs got installed, so that feels really great that every park space that we have in our park system is identified by a Cedar Lake Parks sign, which I hope will help the public understand that if they're calling and they're having an issue, it might be an HOA park and not a public park. So now every park space has an identifiable sign as a Cedar Lake Town Park. And they did a nice project over at Bartlett Wahlberg Park, where they had to fix a stormwater drain that had caused a sinkhole on the land side of the seawall, and they repaired that and backfilled it, and then were able to put a seed blanket down and fix that. So that was a time-consuming and a little bit bigger project than they thought they were getting themselves into, but they succeeded, and they did a really great job with that. So that repair of the sinkhole.
Great. I also saw the message board at the shelter.
They installed the
it
message
looks
board,
cool.
yes.
Cool to see that in a park that everyone drives by, or I drive by it twice a day, so.
I went and decorated it up. It's got a lot of great information, so if you're lunching over there, that message center and the one here on town grounds is a good place to stop and look to see what's going on here if you're not on social media, but you're on foot in our park spaces. Message center.
All right. Thank you. Park Foundation, Town Council report. I don't think we have that today. Park Foundation report.
We held our meeting October 6th. Jeff Fungi is a new member of the foundation.
Thank you.
We voted on adding 2 more board members, so I moved to Vice President, Jeannie Beals, the Treasurer, and Jill Keynes, Director of Communications. Project, the plastic cap project is still going well. We added a new drop-off point, True Value, on the west side. Master Gardeners grant is complete. The fall planning and mulch was completed. We're going to apply again next year, and they also said, the Master Gardener, Cheryl talked to them, they said the Parks Department can apply as well.
And
As well as us.
so two separate.
2 separate ones, yes. And we will participate in the Chamber of Commerce Showcase in April, Summerfest, and Farmers Market to promote the foundation, solicit members, and sell Cedar Lake merchandise.
Thank you. Good to
Any
see
questions?
Jeff. Good to get involved with you guys.
Yep.
Thanks. Good.
And aren't those lovely
Got my
keychains?
keychain. All my daughters have them.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one thing to
Yeah.
what she said also, I talked to Leslie, who is the Lake County Master Board member who is in charge of or works with the grant program. And she did say that, you know, if we want to apply for 2026, we can start January 2026, it starts opening up. And, you know, just whatever, if you guys are interested in doing this, there's a possibility that we could get funding for, and work with parks maintenance, and maybe doing some landscaping for Wahlberg Park or whatever, some of the other parks. It doesn't have to be flowers like we did at Potawatomi. You've got grasses, you got all kinds of stuff. Josh and I had, the vacant foreman, we had talked about this, And he suggested that, you know, that there would be areas that we could do. This is not a one-on-one funding
Mhm.
or match. It's, you know,
Mhm.
funding outright, so up to $600, so it would be beneficial, I think.
Yeah.
You know, get something together if you're interested, and I would suggest that Josh would, put together, he's very knowledgeable in the landscape area. He could put together, you know, whatever he thinks, or whatever Mindy and he thinks that would be applicable. Put down, he can price out the plants, or bushes, whatever he chooses to do, you know, landscaping, and then we could apply for it and work with, you know, with the parks.
Apply together and get double the grant and do a comprehensive project.
It's a win-win
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it'd be ridiculous not to.
Mhm. Yeah. So I won't volunteer Josh, but if Josh wants to put together a proposal for us to review.
Do you have any recommendations of the board, as a landscape space or something that you would like to see that would help him kind of, identify that park space? And then we could work with the foundation about the project itself, and maybe in December, if we kind of have an idea, we could, run it past you guys and, then apply in January.
Mhm.
Both foundation
Yeah,
and
that
parks
was kind of my
department.
thought, if you're all for this, and you can identify some area that you want, and then Josh could, put together something, by December, and, you know, the next meeting would be the beginning, no, it's the middle of December, isn't it? So you could approve whatever's going on there, and then we go from there.
Then we have a project approved to go dually,
Yeah.
The foundation can go and apply for the funding for it.
Mhm.
We've already gone through one time, and they were happy with it, so.
Yeah.
Any place you're like, oh wow, I wish we could do this at? I have a little idea. I'll let you talk first.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the board thinks. I mean,
I think Potawatomi Park probably could take a lot more, you know, work.
Right.
Apply for the next 10 years, I guess.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, especially,
They're so full of weeds and poison ivy, and it looks so much better now, and you just get just parts of it.
Right.
Just the front part of it, but, yeah.
and if we're adding that parking space,
Mm-hmm.
which we will be this year, maybe that would be an area where
Around
we could do
that.
something right where that's gonna happen, so that it's welcoming.
Very good idea.
Does Josh already have, are there plans already for that, like, renderings, so that you know what the size is and the location for that?
There's not, renderings for like landscape or anything
No,
as,
not landscape, I mean, for the parking, like, dimensions and stuff, and where it's gonna be.
I think that's like,
Work off of that, or
There's
no?
probably some rough drawings, right?
I mean, there's like a site map that we kind of just preliminary looked at when the house comes down to be able to do the, parking spaces, literally the lot, but maybe, making a better entry into the park.
Mhm.
Because we also talked about how we would like to stop vehicles from driving through the park at that point, so maybe, some more permanent, like parking blocks and stuff, but with some landscape enhancements. So
Mhm.
I will, have him hop out there and we'll brainstorm, maybe you'd like to meet us out there too, and, or one of the foundation members, and we can, brainstorm that project
I ran
as
it
for
by
the.
him after my conversation with Leslie. I ran it by him and to see if he was interested in doing that. I said, we're not gonna be able to plant, you know, the foundation members are not gonna be, you know, digging out there and bagging like we did the last time. But if we can work with the park maintenance and get something going, that would work. And, you know, he's agreeable to it, he's very knowledgeable, and he can get pricing from the, you know, the garden center stuff.
And there's always Sulaski Park. It could always use a little bit of help.
That would be your second choice if this is not
I
a
would
good
like
project
to see
space?
that.
Okay, or Sulansky. So Potawatomi or Sulansky.
Yeah.
Great. Let me see what I can get, cooked
Yeah,
up for you guys for
It
some
just has to
consideration.
be a park, because that's, as you know, that's what we're here for, is, it has to be for the Cedar Lake Park. It can't be for the town, or, you know, anything else. So
Yep.
as long as it's that, and then the other thing I wanna remind you is that, if we are granted this, funding, the grant funding, we do have to start the project before, by the end of May, at least part of it. I would have to submit a, progress report by June 1st to them, and then they would give you, they go out and look at the stuff, and then they would give you the other half, the remaining balance. you get a check, half of the money up front in a check, and then the rest after that. And it doesn't have to be completed till the end of 2025.
Okay.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Six.
2026,
Yeah.
excuse me, yeah. 'Cause we just finished ours at Potawatomi Park about I think it was the middle of October.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think Josh is he's the best person to kind of put the plans together, and then he'll propose them to us, or you guys will.
He knows.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What he's looking
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
He knows what to look for, what kind of plants to take,
Yeah.
or bushes or grasses, whatever.
Yeah. There's no guessing. He's got it. Yeah.
She
Okay.
found Josh's wheelhouse.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Okay, so we do have written communication, so I'll read that. November 6, 2025, dear members of the Cedar Lake Parks and Recreation Board, I regret that I am unable to attend today's meeting. I hope the stroke of my pen will suffice to justify the importance and value a fishing club would provide or would bring to the community. People in our town often find themselves lost in the idea that there is nothing to do, ignorant to the readily available ability to go out and enjoy fishing Cedar Lake. If given the privilege of being part of a Cedar Lake Fishing Club, our people would be able to enjoy our most beloved lake and help to strive toward a more prideful community. Through some networking, I have obtained an individual who would be able to run said fishing club, as well as over a dozen people ready to join and take part. With the power the five of you hold, it is possible for you to truly make a difference in our town. I pray you take into consideration the positive effect this would have on Cedar Lake. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Nolan Scott. We'll put that
Did
in.
he identify who the leader could be?
No, that was it.
We were actually working on this in-house as well, and we have identified somebody who would be willing to be the instructor. And Greg was put in contact with them to start having
Okay.
discussions about an opportunity to do a fishing club or a fishing camp. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I trust that
depending on
you'll-
instructor availability.
Yeah, I trust
So-
that you guys will work on that from the programming end.
Very nice.
Okay, I'll open up for public comment. Hello, just state your name and address for the record.
My name is Christina Weber Robles, Dr. Weber, actually. I live at 73, oh, is it? 7308, yeah, so sorry, 136 Court. I just moved here.
That's okay.
That's one of the reasons why I'm here today in front of the panel. I am new to the area. I have some concerns about being a part of this community, which is absolutely beautiful. I love Cedar Lake. This is great. However, there are some issues that I would like to address, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
One of them is, I do not drive right now, okay? Life circumstances led me to where I don't. And I would think that maybe a communal pathway to where we, like the majority of the, I guess, stores are, would be accessible, or the pathway along this beautiful lake that we have. Okay, so that's just one thing. Another thing that I would, I have a daughter who is 16 and a son who is 13. They're both involved in lots of water sports, and because I have them half the time, does this community allow us to have? As far as, especially within the winter time, because it's my first winter here. What do you guys have as far as what's accessible to, I guess, the kids, and especially communal activity? Also, I haven't been treated the best by certain people in this community. So I just would like to address the fact that there needs to be some sort of coherence
Mhm.
some sort of like communal, togetherness.
Sure.
I was told, even though I paid my HOA fees, that's something that also should be addressed. I was told because I wasn't on the deed that I'm not allowed to utilize the facilities. Even though I'm not on the deed, grandchildren aren't on the deed as well,
Mhm.
okay? And they're able to utilize and access the spaces without being harassed.
So is this an HOA park?
This is an HOA
Okay.
issue, yes.
Yeah.
So, that is one issue that I would like to address with you guys. There's been a very, very, miscommunication and, honestly, almost a harassment from,
Mhm.
members of certain HOA communities who were,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
It's pretty bad.
HOA parks, you know, are
Are
private,
separate?
they're privately owned, or
Okay.
privately managed, I guess I would say.
Okay,
So we don't manage the HOA parks.
then I'll go through the.
But
other-
as far as accessibility, you know, there are a couple lake accessibility. I know it's winter time, so,
Yeah,
you know.
now it is.
I'll be jumping in the lake when we do the polar plunge at some point,
Oh,
you
well,
know,
that's
and
great.
freezing,
If I
but,
could know about that,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
totally do that, yes. Thank you.
The Chamber of Commerce does have their lights parade, November 22nd.
Oh, okay.
You know, Santa is visiting.
I
I will
would-
admit that the teenage group is a tough group to get going with activities, but we are actively working with our rec coordinator to get some of those teenage,
And I would love to be involved.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Mhm.
just so you know that certain members of the community aren't necessarily the, most welcoming.
Mhm. Well,
So,
we'll try to be
we'll work
welcoming
on
at the
that,
parks,
yeah.
at the Parks Department, so.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
But, again, I have 2 children.
Mhm.
And if there's anything that we could do as far as, communal activities would be probably my main issue.
Okay,
Oh, and the sidewalk.
yeah, absolutely,
Can I
yeah,
say something?
absolutely.
So for your 13-year-old, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
We do have art classes going on right now.
Oh, you do?
We do, yeah, we do have art classes. If your 16-year-old wants to join, are we allowed to message the art instructor to see?
If they want to be in the same class?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
Yeah, so
an
if-
exception.
yeah, so if you-
We have our classes.
I'll write down my email for you, and then you can just
Yes.
email me your information, then I'll reach out to our art instructor, yeah.
Oh, that's.
It's on, November 19th, it's $22 for each kid.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but
wonderful.
it's, yeah, Wednesday, November 19th, so I'll write down my, email for you, and then
Yes,
I'll give it
please.
to you, yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
like I said, I'm new to the community, I've only been here a couple of months, and it's absolutely beautiful.
We're always
And-
looking for volunteers, so
Oh,
I
I'm
have information, yeah. We do a community garden that our, community, members, tend to and harvest from here on one of our park spaces here in Crown Grounds.
Yeah,
So we could, definitely ask you to fill out a volunteer application and get you involved as
Sure.
and welcome you in.
that sounds good, that's all I wanted, it was to be accepted into the community, and I appreciate all of you for your time and for
Come
your.
by the Parks office.
Okay,
Us and
thank
the
you.
Chamber of Commerce are kind of your welcome center, so stop by both and
The
we'll
welcome
we'll find things to keep you busy.
Okay,
Sure.
well, thank you so very much, I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Bruce Morrow, 13318 Moore Street. I was at a senior bingo, just a couple of them, and some of the women would like to know if Greg could stay more than past like 1 o'clock, so they could sit, socialize for a while, hopefully till about 2, and they would like sandwiches as well.
Okay,
They just asked me to ask.
okay, well,
Okay.
thank you for the
Please, They
suggestion.
really want to more stay till 2 o'clock, so because it's their social time.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
yep, we'll coordinate with Greg on that, yep, thank you. Okay, third call for public comment?
Kathy Broomhead, 14351 West 135th Avenue, Cedar Lake. So what is going on with the sign, the digital sign that I think Mindy got a grant for?
We applied for the grant, do we know the
We have
status?
not received notification from, them yet. and they said that the award would, they would reach out in the month of November of 2025. So we're anticipating an answer in some direction, but last time I checked the status, which was last week, it just said that it's in progress, meaning it's being processed.
Okay. And, park department building, what's going on with that? You guys are just letting that go by?
Yeah, so at our last meeting, I mean, you know, we discussed that at our last meeting, how the cost maybe isn't, you know, viable at this point. So we're looking for a more longer-term solution. We don't want to put too much expense into the park maintenance shop at the expense of the budget for other items in the community. And we also want to prioritize our park impact fees for Founder's Creek Trail. So that would be our priority. So we want to make sure we can accomplish that before we invest in infrastructure.
And is there any package on the site of your website for the for this meeting? Like how the town council has their agenda in their meeting, and then down is all the reports that people have, or their building sites or whatever they're gonna do? There's nothing on your site at all, like no information. Like you guys got a package from Mindy about the buildings or whatever you had. You know, what you just talked about, you have it, but the people from the public don't have it to see what's going on.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what is exactly on the site. I know for like voting on, are you talking about like PUDs and plan sites and things? Those I think have to be posted publicly. Or is that correct? Yeah, I think those have to be posted. What we're looking at is more just quotes on things. So I don't know if that's the general.
And you can't put that on there either?
I just don't know if that's what the rest of the town usually does with those types of items, but I know some of the items that are posted have to be posted by law.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, last call for public comment. Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm Vince, obviously Christina's partner, and I live, obviously, same address, 7308, just development-wise, with the city, on 41, just broad span of where you guys see the community growing, development, apartments, streets, widening roads, just basically broadband. I
wish I could answer those for you, but yeah, I wish I could answer those, but that would be a town council or a town council.
When do you guys carry those meetings?
I think we just, is it the first Tuesday?
This Tuesday, so our meeting schedule is posted on our website, so it will show you in all the boards and commissions, and I can write that website down for you.
That'd be awesome.
Being a new citizen, if, I know you're just trying to find the resources to be able to get to where you need to get. So I will hand that off to you at the end of the meeting, the website where you can be able to access information about the parks departments, the boards, commissions, the meeting schedules, and all the great things that you need to know living here.
Cool. Awesome.
Alright.
Yeah, but just so you know,
Tuesday,
November 18th is the next meeting for town council.
18th.
And that's
And
here.
what time?
Yeah, and that's in here.
7 p.m.
It says 6 p.m.
Oh, 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. Hold on, sorry, let me check again.
So the
Sorry.
utility board usually, one of the
Oh.
boards.
Yeah, so,
Council is at 7.
7 o'clock, and all meetings happen in here.
Ah, perfect. That'll be off then.
But I'm gonna write that website down for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mindy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, public comments now closed. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, meeting is now adjourned. Next meeting is December 4th, 2025 at 5:30.